Hey, what's up, rock stars? It's Rocks with a little bit of talk about what's at the top of the blogs. So let's get to it. All right, rock stars. Before we get to the stories, let's just get something out of the way right away. I did put it on my Instagram and Twitter, but if you guys don't follow me there, then you don't know. I did watch the first part. Okay, the first two parts, I should say, of Surviving R. Kelly last night, or actually, I watched it this morning, and I understand that it is a 6-part series that will be airing over the next 2 days. Okay, so it was the first part were the first two parts yesterday. The second part will be parts 3 and 4, and then the third part will be parts 5 and 6. That will air. The second part will air today. The third part, 5 and 6, will air on Saturday. So instead of me talking about just a portion of the docuseries, I have decided to wait until I watch the whole thing. What's hair in my mouth? And then I will do a video about it on Sunday or Monday. Right now it's looking like it's probably going to be Monday. But if I get a special, inclination on Sunday, then we may talk about it on Sunday. You guys just know I like to keep my weekends free from videos. And so we'll just see how I feel about it. But I did watch the first the first installment, and it was disturbing, but not necessarily anything that we hadn't heard so far. We are just now getting to the nitty gritty of the story and the shit that we haven't heard, what will be airing in the parts 3 and 4 tonight. So I'm just gonna hold my comment for that until we get to the end. Okay, yeah, y'all just hold tight. It's coming. Okay, it's coming. All right, you guys, so first story up, a very sad story that we all have heard coming out of Houston, Texas. There is a search for a white man around the age of 40 years old. All they know, descriptives of him, is that he has a beard, and that he might own a red pickup truck. But they're saying that LaPortia Washington was in the car with her 4 daughters. They were making a run to the grocery store for some coffee. And while they were stopped at a red light, LaPortia said that she heard gunshots. She tried to lean over and protect her oldest daughter that was sitting in the passenger seat, but her other 3 daughters were unprotected in the back seat. I don't know how much protection a human body can have when a close range bullet is flying through the metal of the car anyway. But when the man shot into the car numerous times, he shot and killed 7-year-old Jasmine Barnes. Okay, she was shot in the head. She was killed immediately. They also say that her 6-year-old sister was injured by the shattering glass of the windows. And even though LaPortia did try to protect her oldest daughter in the passenger seat, even she was shot in the arm. And we are believing that this man deliberately shot into this car randomly for no reason, unprovoked. She was at a red light, had not cut him off, had not had any interaction with this person. The person just pulled up on the side of her and shot into the car, and then even got in front of her, slowed down, and shot some more. It was very clear, very evident that it was an intentional, random shooting. And I'm only saying random because what the fuck are you shooting in this car full of women, full of little girls? Like, what could, I mean, just... it makes no sense. So anyway, the guy got away. There were cameras in the area, and they did get a picture of a red pickup truck, taken off from the scene. So they are, there is an investigation and them trying to find out who this person might be. I've even heard that now there is a $60,000 reward for anyone who knows any information and can lead them to this killer. The police right now are not ready to say that it was race related, but I just strongly feel like it is. And until we get another reason why he might have done it, I'm just going to rely on the fact that it was race involved. And that's just how I feel. I mean, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's right, but that's how I feel. But just very sad. I mean, you have a 7-year-old I mean, we just talked about this yesterday. When a child has not even been able to start their life and it's already ended. I can't imagine what that mother, LaPortia, is going through. She is begging for the man to turn himself in, which won't happen. I mean, if he intentionally shot into this car, if he did it on purpose, why would he then turn himself in to get in trouble for it? And now I've even heard some rumors that they believe that whoever this person is may have done it before and got away at that time as well. So it's definitely time for this person to be brought to justice. This case has definitely had a lot of spotlight and attention on it because it's just senseless. It's just stupid. But this is the world that we live in today. And it is heartbreaking to know that just at one time when things were happening in the world, you always had a reason or an explanation for it. Might not be good reason or explanation, but there was one there. Now all of a sudden it's just senseless killings. People just shooting and stabbing folks in the neck that's just walking down the street or going to a restaurant or going to the store. I mean, if it gets to the point where you don't feel like you are safe in any capacity anywhere, because it could just happen at any time. And nobody wants to live their life that way. I know that I don't. And I don't want to always be looking over my shoulder, but it's really gotten to the point where you just feel like you were safest in your home. And that's just a terrible way to live. But anyway, you guys, they're still looking for this guy. Like I said, he is a white man, somewhere in his 40s, they expect, and has a beard, possibly owns a red pickup truck. In the meantime, we're going to pray for Miss LaPortia Washington and her family. Okay, the father of the little girls as well, that community, and just our world today. It's just the world has become a very scary place, and now it's war on our children as well. Prayers up for everybody involved. Alright, you guys, so we all saw that viral video of Yasmeen James helping Daniel Taylor to a 10-piece and a side of fives, baby, when he snatched her up over the side of this counter, all because there were no straws on the counter. Now, evidently, there was a new law passed in St. Petersburg, Florida, where they can no longer have straws on the counter, okay, because the city is trying to maintain their environmental sustainability. So now they've taken all the straws off. And I've seen that quite a bit. And I even told you guys yesterday about my husband buying the metal straws because now he doesn't want to use plastic straws anymore. And we can just reuse those same metal straws. You're starting to hear more and more about they don't want to have straws out there because, they don't break down and they're in the ocean and they're getting stuck in all of the turtles' noses and the sea life is, they're all suffering because of this. So no straws, but you are able to ask for a straw and then they will give you one. I don't really know what happened beforehand, but I guess Mr. Taylor was upset about the fact that there were no straws out there, and as the conversation got heated, he reached over there and snatched the girl. I don't know what he thought he was going to do with that snatching, because Yasmeen, they also said that she is also a boxer. Definitely pulled out the skills on that ass, and not only did she grab a hold of him, but she was swinging on his ass. I mean, just like bombing on his ass. Okay, so much so that I think she actually took her co-workers by surprise. I've seen a lot of people saying, like, why is it that we won't protect the black woman? Well, you look at that video, did the black woman look like she needed some protection there? Okay, it wasn't like we knew that that guy was going to snatch her up, because he did it very suddenly. Now I understand what people are saying, and definitely black women are the lowest on the totem pole, so that's not what I'm saying. But Yasmeen looked like she had it pretty much handled there. So much so that they actually had to pull her off of him, because Daniel did not know that, the ass whipping that was about to ensue. And that's what the fuck you get. All right, keep your hands to yourself. If you upset about something, Why is it that you feel okay that you would snatch this girl over this counter like that? Would you have done that to a white woman? Well, I don't know if he would have or wouldn't have, but something tells me that he probably wouldn't have. Once they got Yasmin off of him, and she had to calm herself down, because she was like, you got the fucking right one. You got the right one today. You sure did get the right one, Daniel. They made her leave. And then it looked like the management continued on taking his order. I was like, really? Now, this is the problem that I had with the video. Not necessarily that nobody jumped into the fight, because obviously Yasmin had that under control. But the fact that nobody was appalled enough to be like, get your motherfucking ass up out of this damn McDonald's as well. Oh no, it's business as usual. You gonna take his damn order? That's the least you could have done. So that's more the problem that I had with the video. They also said that to add insult to injury, when Yasmin left McDonald's, the police recognized her from the video and they arrested her. And now she's being charged with 2 counts of simple battery. Now, we all saw in that video that she was defending herself. I don't know what might have happened before the video turned on, but it was not physical. And if there was some words said between the two of them, we still kept it on each side of that counter. Once you reach over and feel like it's okay to actually bring contact to somebody, then all bets are off. You don't necessarily know how this shit is going to turn out. I mean, yes, I guess he thought that he was just going to be able to snatch her, and I don't know what he thought he was fixing to do. But it's unfortunate that he actually felt okay enough to even do something like that with his stupid ass. I wonder if she is really going to, really be in trouble about something like this. My rock star lawyers out there, the real ones. Okay, y'all just give me your opinion on this. Like, does Yasmin have a case that she can fight here? Because he very clearly pulled her first. That shit was frustrating for me to see. But yeah, Yasmin handled it. Yasmin definitely handled it, baby. And as long as Mr. Daniel Taylor is alive, I bet you he won't think that it's ever okay to snatch another woman, at least not another black woman, over a counter ever again in his life. Something should happen to him, though. Something should happen to him as well. Alright, you guys, so we saw it and I was shocked. Okay, I actually didn't believe it. And what am I talking about? The Millennial Tour that's coming up. I saw that Ashley had posted on her Instagram that this is real. It is really happening. And I was like, looking at the lineup, it consists of B2K, Pretty Ricky, Mario, Lloyd, Bobby Valentino, Chingy, and the Yin Yang Twins. Okay, I was like, what the fuck did they unfold and shake out the fucking Yin Yang Twins? When the last time you seen them? Okay, but once I started to believe that it was actually a tour that was happening, I was like, okay, this is a cool little lineup. Like the beginning of the 2000s, like early 2000s. That's how you know you're getting older, okay? Because it went from the 80s, tours, and then the 90s, and now we in the early 2000s, okay? And these groups are now getting together and having these reunion tours as such. But, of course, the reason why I didn't believe that it was true was because we all know about the history of B2K. How that group imploded and then exploded all over everywhere else. And I had just come to the conclusion that they hated each other. And I really kind of feel like it's still the same sentiment, but somehow, some way, somebody has gotten to the 4 of them and made them realize that there's some money to be made. And when you look at all 4 of them, they probably all could stand to, make $1 or $2. So the B2K drama. Remember, when the group broke up, Raz B made this big accusation that Chris Stokes, who was their manager and who also was, an uncle or a cousin to Omarion, he said that he was molesting them, that he was abusing them, that, Omarion was getting favorable, he was being treated nicer and better than the rest of the group, and Raz B just went on and said, there was, at the time that all this was going on, I was reading all of the shit that Raz B was saying. It was some way out shit. Now, they had already was having problems and saying that they were going to break up, but when he put that information out, then it just completely that was it. It was ruined. Now you knew that nobody was talking to each other. B2K was no more. And then, as much as it had been so hyped up and fevered pitch and everybody talking about B2K and Chris Stokes and him supposedly molesting everybody, it finally died down and everybody went away. We ain't seen B2K, none of the members. Rasby we would see every now and then. I think he had moved overseas. He was over in China somewhere, and every now and then he would have stories would come up. I remember at one time he walked through a sliding glass door or some shit and got hurt, and so it was still a whole bunch of like random shit going on with Rasby. But for the most part, the rest of them you didn't hear much from, except for Omarion, who went on to, have his own solo career. That lasted for a few years after B2K broke up. But then finally, even that shit dried out. And then Omarion was even gone. Okay, so we didn't hear much more about it. And then suddenly, when Love and Hip Hop Hollywood came about, then Omarion and Fizz both resurfaced. And we kind of got to see a little bit of the feelings of everybody, or at least those two, which was Fizz was so fucking broke and just really wanted the group to get back together because he could see the vision that maybe, that now that some time had passed, maybe they could jump on it while striking while the iron is hot. But Omarion was over it. Like, he was like, I don't need them. Okay, he had a pretty successful solo career. He was just like, I'm never going to work with them. And from what we have heard from many, many people is that Omarion, once he's done, he just cuts off contact with you. He ain't got shit to say to you, he don't talk to you, nothing no more. We even got to the point where Fizz had even brought J Boog around with his fine ass. And he was on the episode, and there was some talk about them substituting Ray J in for Omarion, which would have never worked. Okay. It was obviously just for the show. But it just, when you was looking at the whole thing, it was just like, how is B2K gonna work it out? Because Omarion don't seem to like none of the members of the group. Okay, he seemed like he might be halfway okay with Fizz, but that might be out the window. We're gonna talk about that later. Really, it feels like Omarion don't like none of the group. It feels like Rasby don't like none of the group and always have problems with all the rest of the group. It feels like Fizz is the only one who is like friends with everybody in the group. Now, I'm not really necessarily sure how him and Rasby may have kept contact or if they have any type of friendship relationship. But he seems to be okay, like I said, with Omarion, and then him and J Boog seem to be very close still. And then J Boog seems like he only really fucks with Fizz. So it's like, how are you guys trying to put together a tour? Not just one, just one big get-together concert reunion and everybody do that one thing that time and then let it be done. But you guys are actually talking about a tour? With all of these bad feelings that obviously still have not been dealt with? Like, I don't really see how it's going to happen. Not only B2K had issues, but Pretty Ricky has had issues. And their issues, we are seeing a lot more of because they're on Love and Hip Hop. What is it? Love and Hip Hop Miami. What's that big, what's his name? Big Bubba Daddy. What's his name? Big Blue Bubba, whatever fuck his name is. He is crazy. Pleasure P has had problems with the rest of the group. Okay, remember they were feeling like, he was getting most of the attention. He was trying to branch off as a solo artist and all of that. They're all related some kind of way as well, cousins and brothers. And, now we're seeing on the show, well, it's coming up that one of the guys in the group, Sensational, I guess is his name, and his father was the manager, and he was the one that was taking the money, and, so he got issues with really. So the two main, most known people of the tour, they got all this dissension within their group, but y'all still trying to have this damn millennial tour. Okay, now Mario and Lloyd and Bobby Valentino and Chingy and the Yin Yang twins, they all just trying to get some money. Okay, trying to get back on the good foot with this tour and capitalize. That's all they trying to do. All right, because they all could stand to have a good successful reunion tour like this under their belt. But the drama with B2K and Pretty Ricky, I just don't know how it's going to work. I would love to see it work out, but I am not hopeful. If I was you and you was planning on buying some tickets, I would hold on to my coins a little bit longer. Now, it's not impossible, and it definitely could work. Okay, I was worried about the Bad Boy reunion, and then I regretted that I did not buy tickets to that, because every city that I saw that tour end up at, and they did have a small little drama here and there, but nothing big, nothing major, nothing to stop them from all being on the same accord and getting this tour done. And that shit looked like it was so live, and everybody that I saw that was there enjoyed themselves. And you just forget how many hits Bad Boy has. So that is a regret that I have. So that's the only thing that makes me feel like, okay, Roxanne, maybe. But the difference with the Bad Boy tour and this Millennial tour is that the entities are all scattered. They weren't, everybody was all under the umbrella of Puffy for the Bad Boy tour. This tour is everybody has their own separate little fucked up ass issues. Okay, and then you trying to bring it all together to make this work. People saying they don't have to get along just to be on tour together. Well, how do you think rehearsals are gonna happen if you guys can't even be okay long enough to be around it? I mean, you have got to rehearse. You can't just jump up on stage. These motherfuckers is old now. Okay, you can't do the same moves. People probably don't sing the same, sound the same as they used to. You have got to practice. You have got to get out there and be around each other a whole lot. And so it's going to take a lot of dedication. And I'm just like, well, we going to see if that works. But I just honestly would kind of hold on to my little change a little longer until I see what else is going on. But on top of all of that going on, I just think that social media is so bad for so many people. Okay, some people can handle social media well. Other people, not so much. Okay, now we have April, who is the mother of Omarion's 2 kids. And we remember they were on the show with Love and Hip Hop Hollywood, and they seemed like they had a pretty cool relationship, but after they went off the show, then they broke up shortly after she had that second baby, or right before she had the second baby, or something like that. And their relationship has degraded over time, and we've seen it in social media. Okay, to the point where April would get onto her Instagram live and be talking about him and saying, that he doesn't talk to her. Like I told you, what he does is when he's through with you, he just shuts that shit on down. But it was obvious that relationship was over, and there weren't any good feelings there between the two of them. Child support issues and custody issues and all of that. Okay, so we have that going on. Let me just throw Moniece in the mix. So we know that Moniece and Fizz also have a child together, and we know how their relationship started out on Love and Hip Hop Hollywood, and we knew about how supposedly Moniece was such this horrible mother, and years have gone on, and I imagine that maybe she's gotten a lot better, realized some of her errors, or maybe not. Okay, but we knew that Moniece and Fizz also had this baby mama, baby daddy relationship, and they're always going to be tied together because of their child. Now, we've been going on along with life, fast forward to about a week ago, Moniece posted a picture, I think it was a picture, if I understand correctly, of her holding some man's hand. And people were starting to suspect that it was Lil Fizz, okay, her baby daddy. And she went on to say, oh no, okay, it's definitely not Lil Fizz, okay, he is in so-and-so with April. And of course, she was implying that those two were having a relationship, okay, secretly, unbeknownst to everybody. And of course, when she posted that, then the social media went crazy, and then I guess Fizz tried to come back and say something to her, so then she had to post this long message about how, they're going to family court, and how he had abused the son, and, she had proof of it, the son calling, saying that he was afraid of his father. She had information on April, and how her and Fizz supposedly fucking around, and she was giving him a surprise party that April fucks other men so that she can pay her rent, and that she got all this information on both of them. All right, that she been preparing for this this day that she would have to fight for her son against Fizz in family court. Okay, bitches, chess, not checkers. And she's much smarter than Lil Fizz, which I definitely do believe. Something is wrong with Lil Fizz. So she posts this long, message. That is when we saw the video, the response video of April and Lil Fizz. I guess all hanging out. Her, Lil Fizz, and some other guy that she said, claimed was her best friend. She also went on to say that Lil Fizz is her best friend and has been friends with, she's been friends with him for years. All right, which could be true. It's interesting, though, we never got that feel on Love and Hip Hop Hollywood. Now, of course, it is a reality show, and a lot of these things are staged and all of that, but if you guys was best friends, we wouldn't have seen any proof of that on the show, huh? It's like y'all didn't have any type of interaction on the show, but yet and still you guys are best friends. So, something is strange about that to me. But anyway, she's going on and on to say that she and Lil Fizz are actually best friends, that she did not give a surprise party for him. Okay. And the whole time that she's saying shit to the camera, Lil Fizz is also sitting there, co-signing and laughing and saying shit like, and Moniece is just trying to do this for a storyline, but Moniece ain't gonna be able to use me for a storyline next year because I already told Mona I'm not coming back. Nigga, Mona didn't want your ass back last season. Only brought you back because it had a little bit to do with Moniece, because really they could have done without Lil Fizz the last 2 seasons, honestly. But definitely this last season, we ain't had to have Lil Fizz. And he was just being real I was like, these niggas got their fucking nerves. I wonder what Mona thought when she was watching that video. Like, this nigga is really something else. Okay, one thing Mona will not do is get on social media and dispute what people say on social media. Okay, her old cast members. So she will allow you to say that you quit. Okay, even if your ass has been fired, she will allow you to do all of that. Mona don't get involved in any of that shit. Because at the end of the day, I guess it don't matter to Mona. But, he was making it seem like, I ain't coming back on the show anyway. Okay, that's fine. He was making money from, him and Tiffany made money on Love and Hip Hop Hollywood and how they went on Marriage, whatever the damn show was. And I was just sitting there looking at that like, I don't know what happens to these people when they get on these shows and they get to count their eggs before they hatch. Okay? The same with Tommy right now. Okay, this is off subject, but Tommy just said that she's not coming back to the show, that she's moving on with her career. She wants to focus on her career, her rap career and all of that. And I'm just thinking to myself like, girl, you ain't quite made it over the hump yet to be saying you ain't coming back to the show. It's early still. Tommy is not a household name like Jocelyn is. So it's just like, girl, you sure you want to be off the show this early? But I guess so. She, she's with her new boyfriend, and he's not A-list by any means, but, B's, what is reality shows considered D-list? Yeah, I just like Tommy. I don't know if that's a good idea, but girl, if you like it, I love it. But anyway, getting back to April and Fizz, for them to make that video and then she's going off on Moniece and calling her a bitch, and he's just sort of sitting there and kind of trying. I was just like, this is ridiculous. Okay, and then you want Little Fizz to get up on the stage with Omarion, who has a problem clearly with his baby mama, but yet and still Little Fizz is best friends with the baby mama, and now there's some suspicion that them two might be fucking, and like, really? Y'all don't see the problems here nowhere, right? Craziness. I don't know. I used to really like April. But, and I don't know if it's just because she's desperate, okay, or if she just considers herself a real ass bitch and she just gonna say what she gotta say about her, her baby's father. But holding all of these live, impromptu, conversations with the public about her baby father and, the shit that he does and, the reason why she can't seem to get through to him, that don't seem like the most productive, way of getting through to Omarion. Okay, and really, honestly, it feels like it's just driving a larger wedge between the two of them and possibly between the group if she is fucking around with Fizz, or even if she is best friends with him with all of this, problems. So, child, I done talked about that a long time, but that was a whole lot to cover. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this millennial tour. Okay, on paper, it's real nice. On paper, it's jamming. It looked like it's going to be a good time. I think all of the hits, okay, to the window, to the wall, bitch, that is the... That is the soundtrack to my 20s, Yin Yang Twins. Okay, so yeah, I know it could be a good time. I know it could be a good time. But, I don't think that shit is gonna happen, y'all. But we'll see. We'll see. So it was New Year's Eve night, and Tiffany Haddish had the kickoff to her stand-up tour in Miami. Okay, it was a sold-out crowd, and it was at the James L. Knight Center. All right, in Miami. I don't know exactly what went wrong, but Tiffany Haddish did admit that the night before she had partied all night until 7 o'clock in the morning, and then New Year's Eve she had her show. I'm thinking to myself, like, girl, you was partying on December 30th. Fuck. You couldn't wait till December 31st after your show? I mean, like, who has, like, this knockdown, drag-out party on December 30th? So I was just like, oh, okay. But anyway, supposedly she, by the time she made it back up on stage, she was pretty much still hungover, okay, or just plain still drunk, and was not prepared. Couldn't remember her jokes. Couldn't remember her stories, could not connect with the audience. Your audience, as a comedian, they can sense immediately what the fuck is going on. And that is one of the arts. That is one of the people have to take comedy seriously. It is not just people being funny. There are people that are just funny, 100%. But it's also a craft that is honed, and you can't take it for granted that you can get up there and be fucked up. I mean, some people can. Okay, we done known that Richard Pryor used to be fucked up all the time. Okay, when he would be on the stage. Some people can do that and be up on stage. Other people can't. Tiffany Haddish is definitely not one of those ones. And some would argue is because she is not really a stand-up comedian. I myself don't feel like Tiffany Haddish is necessarily my idea of a stand-up comedian. I believe that Tiffany Haddish is a funny person, and I believe that Tiffany Haddish is a comedic actress. But as far as stand-up comedy is concerned, I don't know if I would place her just yet anyway in that category. But that's just my opinion, because other people do. Obviously, she has a stand-up tour that's starting, and people paid their money to go see her. And I'm not mad, girl, make your money. If you want to be a comedian, it's not something that you can't do, but it's something that you have to take seriously. And I guess she learned that night, okay, that you have to respect this craft. And I think that's what a lot of comedians that have possibly come against her, that may have been looked at as haters at the time, I think that that's some of what they meant, even though it may have not have come off that way. But I did feel sorry for her. When I saw the video, I couldn't even, it was uncomfortable for me to watch. Okay, I tried to watch it, and then I started getting that familiar feeling of, like, remember I was telling you guys, like, when I'll be watching the host for these award shows, and the minute it feels like they about to bomb, I'll turn the channel. It was the same thing with watching that video. I could tell that, she just couldn't get it together. And even at some point, she was just like, this is weird, and I'm tired. Okay, pulled out a bottle of champagne and was drinking and all. I was just like, oh, I can't. I don't even want to watch this. I'm embarrassed for her. And then people were booing her and, heckling her. And then they started walking out. And, then she was commenting on what was going on around her. She couldn't get the control back of her crowd. And then it was just like, that it was bad. All right. And then what made it even worse is the fact that, now it's caught on social media and it's gone viral and everybody has seen it. This is exactly the reason why Dave Chappelle does not allow video cameras and phones and shit at his shows. Because it's one thing to bomb in front of even an auditorium full of people. But when you physically see that shit, when you visually see that shit on camera on social media, on all of the damn Twitter and Instagram and Facebook and all, once you start to see that, and millions of people now see that, now you've got to contend with the naysayers and people saying, she don't know what she's doing, she's not really a comedian. And man, I felt bad for her. I mean, I'm sure all comedians would tell you that they've all had an off night, that they've all had a bad night. She just had to do hers in front of a whole bunch of people, and that's the unfortunate part. But I was just like, she'll rebound and she'll regroup, as long as this whole Party and Tiffany thing was just a one-time, she was tripping and had kind of overestimated what she could and could not do and could not handle. As long as it was just a one-time thing, what I am hoping is that it's not the beginning of us seeing somebody who shot to fame real quickly and possibly can't handle it. Now, I don't think that that's what it is, but we've seen that happen. We've seen people, shoot to the top and then just fall apart. And I don't want to see that happen to Tiffany Haddish, because she has crossed over, and everybody loves Tiffany Haddish now. So once you start making that everybody loves Tiffany Haddish money, okay, and y'all know what I'm talking about, right? I would like to see her be successful. But I don't want to, because we seen Tiffany could party. Like, we can see that Tiffany has a good ass time wherever, it don't matter where the fuck she is. And I just don't want her to get sucked up in that Hollywood entertainment machine where you not taking care of your business no more because you just having such a good ass time. Shit falls apart. Okay, and then you be starting to burn the candle on both ends, and then you start hearing about motherfuckers drinking or taking uppers just so they can stay up, and they could do, and it could just all become something else messy. Again, I don't think that that's what it is with her, but we gonna know, because people gonna be watching for these next couple of shows that she has. Folks are gonna be watching, because now we want to know if Cat Williams was right, or if other people that have had negative things to say about her is right. I just want Tiffany to hold her head up. You got a lot of people that's riding on you, want you to succeed and everything. Don't fuck it up. Okay. Let that be a lesson learned. And she said it was. She said that, will never happen again. She knows that she can't do what she did before. So, let's just hope that that's what it is. But yeah, that shit was uncomfortable. I felt so bad for her. I said, oh, girl. Whew. Alright, you guys all wanted me to talk about this whole Jess Hilarious and Country Wayne. I don't follow neither one of them on social media. I've seen the guy, his videos show up, on social media every now and again, but I never knew who his name was. Didn't know much about that guy. As far as Jess Hilarious, of course I know who she is, but I don't follow her. I tried to follow her at one time. She posts too much. Like, I can't follow nobody that posts a whole bunch. Like, that shit gets on my nerves. Like, even my own friends. When you get to posting 10 and 11 and 12 and 13 and 14 times in a day, like, no. Don't nobody need that much contact. So what I choose to do is I just go onto a person's page. If I think about them, if they run across my mind, I'll go and look and see what's going on in their life at the time. But as far as me having to look at you come up on my fucking feed every 2 seconds, no ma'am. I don't follow Jess Hilarious either. So I had no idea that these two evidently were dating. So I had to do a little research. This story might not be 100% accurate, so y'all just deal with it if it ain't, okay? Because this is what I was able to ascertain in my research. Evidently Country Wayne posted a video recently, I guess maybe for Christmas, because him and Jess Hilarious are supposedly dating. She gave him a gift, okay, and it was a pinky ring, okay, a nice pinky ring with diamonds and shit on it, and he just kept on saying like, wow, somebody gave this to me, and I never got anything like this, or something like that. He was grateful that he had gotten this ring. And then somewhere in the comments, someone had commented something about, Jess Hilarious and them two seeing each other, and his wife. I'm not sure if Country Wayne still believes. do he know this his wife? But anyway, the wife is saying that she's surprised that he's, out here getting gifts from women and shit, considering that they were still married. And so then, because the wife put that in the comments, there was all this, everybody kind of got involved in the whole relationship and was like, oh my God, Jess Hilarious is a homewrecker because, the wife is saying we still together, and he's saying, he got this ring from Jess Hilarious and all of that. All right. So then he goes on to his page, I think I saw it yesterday, and he's like, wait a minute, hold on, okay? I'm gonna be able to do whatever the fuck I want to do as long as I take care of my kids, okay? Now, I'm not married anymore. He talked something about some divorce papers, and, he said he not gonna talk bad about his, his ex-wife because that's the mother of his kids. But as far as who he want to date, he gonna date who he want to date, and as long as he takes care of his responsibility, that's what he gonna do. Takes up for Jess Hilarious and says, you guys know, what kind of person she is. She wouldn't be fucking around with me if she knew that I was married and all of that. So, he basically was like, y'all get off my ass. And then the wife again commented like, we ain't divorced. I ain't seen divorce papers or nothing. Okay, so the wife is still in the damn comments saying they're not divorced. Okay, Jess Hilarious went into the comments also and said, yeah, she do mess with him, but she messed with a whole bunch of other people. And I was just like, oh, okay. But her whole thing was like, fuck, she can date whoever she want to date. Chris Brown, if you reading this, okay, this means nothing. Okay, you ain't even Chris Brown's type, girl. Chris Brown likes the other persuasion, and I'm not saying white. He likes what we like to call exotic girls. But anyway, getting back to them. So I don't know what to believe in this conversation because they're all so very different. The wife is saying ain't no divorce, and he's saying that they are divorced. I guess it could be easy enough to find out. Somebody go and look and see if they can find some, divorce paperwork. If the shit has been filed in the courts somewhere. Okay, is that public record? Seem like it would be. Maybe it's not. I mean, because marriage licenses are public record unless you get a private one, right? So, seems like it would be, but I don't know. But y'all don't know what to believe with that. I honestly don't care. If Jess and this Country Wayne boy was a happy couple and shit was working out for the two of them, and if the wife is just being salty and just trying to throw some shade in the game, then that's all. I don't even care. I would hope that Jess Hilarious, in her newfound celebrity and, things starting to happen positively for her, that she doesn't get that moniker of being a home wrecker and, and not that he's like some big name, known name or anything like that, but still. Certain things you just can't outrun. Look at Alicia Keys. People still look at her as a home wrecker, and that's just what it is. And I don't care how much that hypnotized ex-wife of Swizz Beatz gets up there and says that they all one big happy family. Some ain't right with them either, child. But anyway, let me get off of here with that one. Y'all let me know what you think about that relationship. If I have it wrong, it don't even matter, y'all. It don't matter. So you ain't got to be, going off on me in the comments because I don't really care. Okay? If you got the correct story, just put it down in the comments. That's all you gotta do. So, over the new year, we found out that Cassie has a new boyfriend, okay, by the name of Alex Fine, okay? He's a cute little guy. Another one of them exotic types, okay? But Cassie is one of them, too. So, two exotics together. Supposedly, this is her new boyfriend. She posted a picture. It looked like it was two pictures of, one picture was her and him and her mother. Then there was another picture of her and him kissing. And it looked like they were at a New Year's party. The caption just said, "I love you, mommy." But she posted this right after Diddy had posted a picture of Cassie. It looked like she might have been in the tub or something. Not necessarily though, child. Don't let me get to lying. But anyway, he posted a picture of her with just a heart. When we saw that, we kind of wondered if, Diddy was trying to get that old thing back. We all know that Cassie has tried a few times to get away from Puffy and has always ended up back in his arms. But when she posted that picture and everything, it was almost like, oh, damn. Okay, maybe not. Because, child, when the last time we seen Cassie kissing anybody other than Diddy? Never, right? Not in the last 11, 12 years anyway. So it looks like Cassie was trying to let everybody know that I don't give a fuck what Diddy is over there posting. This is where it is now. And then there was another picture that surfaced of her and Mr. Fine together on a beach. He also posts, just in quotations, 19. As in, this is my girl for all of 2019. And then she also reposted the picture and put like baby or something on it. So those two definitely have something going on. Cassie and Diddy are no more. People are saying, though, that Diddy has a problem with this relationship. Now, this is all allegedly. Okay, so not necessarily know if this is true or not, but supposedly Alex Fine was also not only just a bull rider, but he's, I mean, a bull rider. Listen to that, child. Anyway, not only was he a bull rider, but he's also a personal trainer. Pretty well known in Hollywood, works with many of the Hollywood elite. Diddy had been hired this man to come and train both him and Cassie. So now they're saying that Diddy feels like Alex and Cassie probably had a relationship beforehand, before Diddy and Cassie even broken up. And all I have to say to that is, I mean, I guess I could see why he would think that, and it could very well be true. But what do you want me to say? First of all, when relationships are going bad at the end, all kind of shit happens. You start getting to the point where you don't give a fuck about the other person. You don't even, like, their feelings and their well-being is like the furthest from your fucking mind. You don't give a fuck no more. So she very well could have been cheating with him. But we also know that Puffy, this is not any type of validation why she was doing what she was doing, but we know what Puffy's been doing. We all know, we've heard stories about him and other women fucking around. That was the reason why him and Kim couldn't even get married, is because Kim was like, he's never going to be faithful. Like, she could not trust him. Even though two wrongs don't make a right, I just can't have to be like, well. I mean, at this point, I feel like Cassie deserves happiness, and even Diddy. Like, even Diddy needs to, maybe you don't need to be with nobody. If you know that you can't be faithful to any one person, then maybe you need to just be one of those ones who, have, dates and has a good time with your female friends and all of that, and not get too serious and let that just be life, okay? The eternal bachelor. It's got to be a lonely life at sometimes. You get old, you need a motherfucker that's there for you, okay? You get sickly. You can't get to your medication. As I get older, I can see how things will change, even in my own marriage. Seems like a lonely way to live to me. But Cassie deserves to be happy. And if she's happy with this Alex Fine guy, then I'm happy for her. Okay, and I'm not even gonna hold her to what may have happened while her and Puffy was together. Like, it's a clean slate. Like, girl, go on and get your life, and hopefully you guys can tie it down if it's real serious, and even have kids, and and not waste any more time. I don't think her life was really a waste of time, but you know what I mean. Like, that was that, and it's done, and let's just move it on with whatever's next. That's how I feel for Cassie. How y'all feel? And then lastly and quickies, you guys, Usher's hair. Don't ask me what the fuck is going on. Okay, I just honestly do not understand that whole Temptations 5 Heartbeats tragedy that's on the top. It almost feels like Usher is at that point where, once they start to become not so relevant, they start resorting to doing shit that's almost qualified as trolling or just trying to get attention. And Lord knows, I hope that Usher is not at that point. But when you do shit like this is what makes me feel like you have gotten to that point. Because you look ridiculous. Maybe it's for a part or a role, but I don't even know if that's true, because he hasn't said anything else about the reason why he would do something like that to his hair. But I mean, it's his life and it's his hair. But stunts in shows like this always makes me worry that a certain artist is at another stage in their life where they don't necessarily know what to do get attention, so they do shit like this. I just, whatever, Usher. Speaking of relevancy, talking about Madonna and her butt. I thought that was a picture, or that video was from a costume party that Madonna was at. I just looked at that ass and I was like, there's just absolutely no way that this woman would have done this to her body. She's Madonna. This is a legend. Why a legend of her stature would go and do something like this to her body that looks ridiculous? Okay, not only does it not look real, but it doesn't even look healthy. Like, it looks like something is going to go wrong there. And after we've heard so many bad stories about butt injections and implants and all of that shit, I couldn't understand why Madonna would do something like that. So that's why I was just like, oh, this can't be real. But when you look at the pictures, when I got the good view when she's dancing and she has on tights and you can see the camera angle from down beneath, and from this vantage point, you know, the shit looks like it's attached to her body. Okay, I'm still gonna give Madonna the benefit of the doubt, and just maybe that she's had, you know, some sort of butt pads on and was trying to make some sort of statement, because when we saw the booty at the time, she was on stage and she was talking about how we need to be nicer to each other and that we need to, you know, accept people for the way that they are. That was already the general feel of what she was saying on the mic with this ridiculous ass on her back. So maybe, just maybe, she was doing that to make some sort of statement. Now, she hasn't said anything about whether or not the ass is real or fake. And this is another thing that gets on my fucking nerves. Like, celebrities will do shit that they know that everybody is talking about, and then they won't comment. And then when they do comment, they're gonna have an attitude about it and all. But you the one that came out here with this old fucked up ass booty. And then you know, so it's just like, here we go again. Is this something that somebody is doing because they feel like they've fallen off? You didn't have to do shit like this. But that'll let you know, as these artists get older and older, you know, they start to get desperate and they start doing shit that's just gonna get them attention. I'm hoping that that's not what it is with Madonna. Y'all think that ass is real? Somebody let Ashley know that her baby mama, better known as Toni Braxton, is no longer engaged and is back on the market, girl. They're saying that her and Birdman are broken up. She posted some old cryptic ass messages the other day talking about, you know, how you always should choose to be chosen, and, you know, starting over is harder, but, you know, it's a new year and whatever and whatnots. Birdman also posted just a caption that said it's over, and he's taken all of the pictures of Toni Braxton off of his social media. And yeah, they're saying that they've broken up. Okay, this is just months after Toni Braxton supposedly, okay, conveniently lost her engagement ring. Okay, she had packed her ring, which is still makes no fucking sense. Like, who packs expensive ass jewelry in the suitcase that's gonna be away from you and in the belly of the plane? Okay, when you know they already go through your bags, why are you leaving this? So that didn't make no sense to me. But some people say, well, maybe that's an omen. Yeah, it's an omen that she wanted that money. Shit. Maybe Birdman was mad. Now they done broke up. He can't even get his fucking ring back. Tony, girl, did you pull on 1, 2 over their eyes? And speaking of engagements, Erica Mena and Safari, you guys know that these two have recently gotten engaged. And I'm not going to say anything about it. I'm just not going to say anything negative. I'm just going to sit back and watch this relationship do what it does. Okay? And then we'll come back and talk about it when it finished doing what it does. You guys know how I feel about Erica Mena. All I'm going to say is I hope Safari know what he's doing. And then lastly, you guys, a whole bunch of people anticipating. First, Andy Cohen, he announced on his Watch What Happens Live December 20th show that he was expecting a little baby in the next few weeks. All right. We found out on New Year's at his New Year's Eve show with Anderson Cooper, that it was going to be a little boy. So congratulations to him and his 20 years, his junior boyfriend, Clifton Dasunchao. Congratulations are also in order, I guess, for Kim and Kanye. They are expecting their 4th child via surrogate, the same girl who delivered Chicago, their last baby girl. They're saying that this new baby is going to be a baby boy. And I think the baby is due in mid-spring. So congratulations to them too. And lastly, congratulations to Kobe and Vanessa Bryant. Okay, they are expecting their 4th girl. Child, we trying for this boy. It just ain't happening, honey. Kobe don't make boys. I guess that baby should be coming sometime this year. I don't know exactly when. They didn't say. But, yeah. All these new babies. Love is in the air, isn't it, you guys? Child, glad it ain't me. God, I am so hungry, you guys, and I done used up my whole lunch doing this video. Anyway, you guys, let me get off of here. We do this every single week, so make sure that you rate, comment, and subscribe, and make sure you come back. Until next time, rock stars. Bye.